Assalamu alaikum everyone. This is Huma Hassan, lecturer in English, linguistics and literature. Today I am going to discuss a bit about critical analysis of the poem, that how should we do the critical analysis of any poem, what are the basic steps there. This is a very short video, an introductory one, and I'm just going to describe briefly different steps that may help you in analyzing poetry. Now, the thing is that I have been teaching at intermediate, graduation, and master's level, and I have noticed that mostly when we ask students to critically analyze a poem, they don't know that what are the things that they should be writing about in the critical analysis. So I'll be describing that here. Before moving on, I am sharing my WhatsApp official contact number here, and if there is anything in linguistics or literature that's troubling you, you can always contact me, leave me a message here, and I'll upload a lecture on it as soon as possible, or I will respond to you in WhatsApp as early as possible. My email address is also in the description link, so you can send me an email if that is convenient for you. Okay, so now let's move to the steps. These are few very basic steps that should be done for the critical analysis of a poem. Let's see the first one. So, as foreign students of English literature, English is a foreign language to us, and we usually feel difficulty in understanding what the poem is about. So, first of all, instead of getting confused, just read the poem in one go. Then I suggest to my students that read it again, stanza by stanza, and highlight key points. That is that any point that you think is important there, just highlight it or underline it, so you can note it down later on. Then explain the subject matter. Now, what is subject matter? Subject matter is what is there on the paper. What is there on the paper in front of you? For instance, the subject matter of this slide of mine is steps critically analyze a poem. So just like that, if there is a poem where about tiger, then the subject matter would be tiger. Later on, when we will decode it, we will look for the codes, and then we will try to understand themes, and that happens by decoding and by looking at different symbols and ideas that are given there. So we say that it is between the lines. The theme is usually between the lines. We decode those codes, and then we understand the theme, the main idea. There can be one theme or there can be more than one theme. So we should write the theme there while doing the critical analysis. Then we should talk about the literary devices. And literary devices, when you enroll yourself in any course of literature, then this is the very first course that is offered about literary devices. So you should be able to identify some of them in the piece of poetry that is given to you. And these are simile, metaphor, personification, enjambment, so on and so forth. In my lectures, upcoming lectures, I shall be describing the literary devices side by side when we will be doing the critical analysis of the poems. Then these are the basic steps. The few steps that I have covered so far, these are based on the poetry that is there in front of us. We haven't talked about the poet or the contextual reference. After doing all this, we move to the contextual reference, and that is we are going to relate with the contextual references, the themes that we have understood. Now, how are we going to do that? You see, each individual, each poet is a part of a particular society. We cannot isolate an individual from his society, right? So, the theme that the poet has talked about, we are going to relate it to his social, political, and economical situations of that time, of time when the poem was written. So that is relating it to the contextual references, and we can do that only if we know the historical background of that time period and if we know the biography of that poet. And then describe the structure of the poem. This comes at the end. By describing the structure at very basic level, what we are supposed to do, we are supposed to tell about the stanzaic pattern, that how many lines are there in each stanza, what sort of stanzaic pattern has been followed, and what rhyme scheme has been followed by the poet. Is it a free verse or is there a particular rhyme scheme? So these are the very few basic steps that may help any student in writing a critical analysis of the poem. That is all for today. Do write to me, do give me your feedback, and if you want to learn anything from me, just let me know. Do contact me. Thank you very much. Allah Hafiz.